Rachel.
And I'm Ashlee.
Welcome to the Capital Mom Real Life Conversation.
Thanks so much for joining us today. Really, really grateful. And hopefully you're enjoying what you hear. I'm gonna start how we usually do, glimmer dimmer. I have a dimmer, and this is not endorsed by Brian or Capital Mom, what I'm about to tell you, or by me. So we have a pool in our backyard. It's an above ground pool that's about 3 feet, maybe just a little bit more right now, deep. And we have a deck that is over it that we've always been tempted, like joked about, like, what if we jumped off the deck into the pool? Never done it. And then the other day, we decided to try it. Anyway, it
YOLO!
Yeah, right? I know, yeah. It was like I went back to, had a very spontaneous, wild side. Anyway, I did not think it through all the way. I did it, I survived, obviously, but my heel is not doing great. I landed not the right way I should have, and probably going to be limping for the next few weeks while it heals. It's not broken, but that's a dimmer for me.
Yeah.
That's a dimmer. So
Yeah.
I do not recommend this. Nobody do this, please.
When Ashlee told me this story, we had gone to North Carolina this summer, and I had jumped in the pool. And I'm not always the like go under water mom. Like if I have clean hair, then I don't. But if I'm about to wash my hair, I'm like, all right, I'm gonna go under. Like, and this was the day. I was like, yes, I'm gonna go under. It's gonna be so great. And I took my first jump in, and I stubbed my toe on the bottom of the pool.
Not my pool.
This is a different pool in North Carolina. But I literally came up, and my toe was purple and black, and I was like, oh, I think I broke my toe. So like, those pools, they'll get you.
I know, live in summer, like we were talking about. We were all in.
Oh, yeah. So I am gonna have a glimmer, and mine, I'm just gonna give you like little glimmers from the summer because I couldn't think of one like big one. So a couple little ones. First one, my 4-year-old taught himself how to snap. And I was so proud of him because his old, when you're the second born and your older sibling can do all these things that you can't do yet, and you're just like trying to catch up. And I was just so proud of him that he just was sitting in bed one night and then it got louder and louder, and we're like, yeah, buddy! I love it. And then my daughter lost her front tooth that has literally been loose for 5 months.
So long.
Finally came out.
She's been like a little snaggletooth for the
last
little while.
Little hillbilly. And then the last one is my now 2-year-old had her birthday, and when we were singing her happy birthday, she just like jumped up and down with joy the entire time we sang to her, and it was just such a glimmer. Like watching her, it was kind of the dream where you envision how your kid would respond to you singing happy birthday. Yes. But it doesn't usually happen, but it was just like magic. Yes. And so we just had the best time celebrating her. We had a little party.
Yes, and her middle name, one of her middle names is Joy.
Yeah.
And like, it's perfect. It was so perfect.
It is. Oh, this just reminded me actually. So we had a wedding, and we were walking, and we had just celebrated Finley's birthday with the Hendricks family and our family, and we had a wedding like 2 days after her party. And so it was a huge, beautiful wedding at this beautiful venue. And we walk in, and Finley looks at me and she goes, "My party?" And I was like, yeah, this is your party. We really pulled all the stops for you.
She's never going to forget that.
Oh,
She's never going to forget it.
So he'll never have that grand of a party again, but.
Oh my gosh, I love it. Because I know you were debating if you were even going to do a party because she just had such a great like time on her birthday.
Yeah.
So she was like, do we?
Yeah.
But she kept asking you like, are they coming to my party? Are we doing my party? And so she was like, okay, yes, we're doing the party.
Doing the party.
And then we're really doing the party. I bet she was like,
Over the moon. Yeah,
Oh my
so
gosh.
cute.
She really is so cute. Well, what we decided to do this time is like take back a little, but really not. We were thinking about what we've learned since becoming moms. We both became moms in our 20s, and now we're in our 30s.
Yep.
And so what we've learned in our 20s that we would like, or 30s.
In our 30s.
That we would, or since this time, that we would tell ourselves in the 20s, or like the things that we
about
appreciated
motherhood
most.
and
Yep.
even about womanhood, just growing up. What have we learned?
Yeah.
So.
Yep.
Take it away.
Oh, I am front. So one of the things that first came to mind for me was that when I first became a mom, I remember just feeling so overwhelmed and trying to do it all. Like I was like, my mom sews and she cooks and she cans and she, like gardens, and we had a dairy farm and she was substitute teaching and we were doing all sorts of volunteering in our church. And I remember becoming a mom and then being like, oh my gosh, I'm not doing any of those things. And feeling just so overwhelmed, and then having to pause and realize that when I was a child and actually noticing what my mom was doing, she was already at least a seasoned 20, almost, 20 to 25 year mom. She'd been doing it for that long by the time I came along and realized, and I was the last of her children, which I think also is a different phase of life. But realizing that I cannot compare my 2 months experience or even 5 years experience or,
Totally.
to my seasoned mom or other seasoned moms and what they're able to do in their situations at that time, because they had to learn just like I'm learning. And there's a really good chance she wasn't doing it all. Like in my head, I'm like, oh my gosh, they're doing it all.
Yes.
There's a really good chance they weren't doing it all.
Yes.
They just kept trying. And they just kept trying to show up and be there.
Even if you look at other moms who are in the same stage of life as you, like sometimes I think we look at other moms and we're like, how are they doing it? How are they like looking like, I don't know, maybe it may be what you see on social media, or it might be like just what you see
highlights.
for the highlights
Exactly.
of their life, that's maybe they're really having a hard time and you don't know it. And so,
or like we just don't see that, like the struggle until
the day-to-day,
the skill is gained or whatever. Like it's not always that we video the fail, and then you get it. And a lot of times it's just like, we got it, and there it is, we captured it. And
right. And if you look at these moms who are working full time and they have kids that they're spending time with, and you're like, how are they doing that? I don't understand. Well, that's right, you don't understand. You don't know.
We have no idea.
And even like just hearing Ashlee talk about all these things that her mom did, and I know Ashlee, and I'm thinking like, what about all the things you're doing? Like, you're amazing. You're working like 1 day a week, and you have 3 amazing kids that you pour your heart and soul into, and like you have a garden.
I know.
You have chickens.
I'm almost 10 years. I'm like almost 10 years in now too.
Yeah.
And so I actually have
amazing friendship.
Thank you though. Thank you so much. I did have a moment when I was actually writing this up where I was like, oh my gosh, my oldest daughter actually loves to sew, and she has a little sewing machine, and she had just sewn a pillow for her little brother. And I was like, oh, I taught that to her.
And you taught your kids how to play piano. I know. It's so amazing.
It's crazy how, if I compare, it's so easy to not see what I am actually doing.
Right.
And not just feel so happy and grateful for what I am accomplishing, or just how I'm living with my kids and with my family.
And I think it's hard to look big
up
picture. Like we see the little day to day, but like big picture, we're doing amazing.
Yes, and you need time to be able to get a big picture like that too.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a good one. I mean it too.
I really appreciate it.
The next one is, I'm gonna have to kind of explain for it to make sense, but it's processing through something before delighting. And what I mean by that is I saw a mom post this on Instagram, and I loved that she felt that she showed this vulnerability, I guess, because I think sometimes on social media, like we just talked about, we only show the highlights. We show, you know, we went to the pool today and we did this, and here's my kid who won a medal, and whatever it is. And we don't always show like the hard moments. And this mom had said she wanted to go on a walk by herself. Like that was her goal. And her 3-year-old threw a big fit and was like, I want to come, mommy, I want to come. And she was like, no, this is my me time. I don't want you to come. Like, I don't know how she said it, but finally she's like, okay, let's get in the stroller, you can come. And she said that it took her probably 20 minutes of that walk to just process through, this is not how I wanted this to go. This is not, you know, and she just like in her head, okay, I have my daughter here, this is not what I wanted, but here I am. And just like kind of processing through those emotions. And then she's like, and then finally I did that. I processed and I was like, okay, here we are. I'm on a walk with my daughter with the stroller. Everything's actually great. And then she's like, finally I was able to delight in her presence. And I was able to look at her little hands and just think, oh, look at those little dimples, and oh, her little voice, and how sweet it was. And just realizing that in order to get to those delightful moments or those glimmers, sometimes we have to trudge through some muck to get there.
Yeah, expectations that we had that were like, this did not go as planned.
Right. Like,
and I'm really angry about it right now.
Totally. And you can honor those feelings and work through that anger, but then there is delight on the other side. For example, like if your kid doesn't nap, you're in that stage where you're like, come on. And then you just okay, I'm gonna carry you downstairs, and I just really don't want you to be downstairs right now. Okay, this was my me time.
You like.
Yeah. But then you get through it and you're like, you know what, you're so sweet, and I'm so glad you're here.
I know, because then they'll like snuggle up next to you, and they're just, I don't know, they'll say things that you're like, oh, okay, yes. Yeah, so that's such a good one. It's such a good one. One of the other things, like, and kind of goes along with this in processing, is trying to keep a girl tribe or friend tribe or, you know, whatever that is for you. So that then when you do need to process, you can call someone up that, you know, obviously make sure you're not just overloading on them. You don't ever want to do that. But and you can make those friendships where, you know, like, I can call you and I can just vent this real quick, and I don't need you to necessarily sit in the same emotion with me. I just need you to listen while I express how I'm feeling.
And sometimes just saying it out loud and knowing that somebody hears you.
Yeah.
Sometimes that's all you need.
Yeah.
Just somebody to hear you.
Yes. But also, like, just having those people in your life still. I feel like for a little while, I relied, obviously, when you get married and you start relying on your husband and you're figuring things out and you're creating your family and things are great, but actually continuing to have friends outside of just my family is incredibly helpful for my own mental and emotional health, and just being able to step outside of this environment for a little bit, feel, you know, a little lighthearted, get other people's takes and perspectives, and then come back into it. But like, truly step out of the responsibilities of home and family, and then come back, even if that's once a month, even if that's like, it doesn't have to be a lot, but just something like that I think is incredibly valuable to continue to maintain.
Absolutely. And sometimes I've learned that my husband doesn't want to hear all the little things. And I think girls, just, this might sound too stereotypical, but girls do tend to like be more chatty in my experience in life. We just love like all the little details and tell me more. And what happened today? And my husband is, sometimes he comes home from work and he's just, or
I know,
he's
John's like, you're sharing
or...
this with me because I need to problem solve with you. And I'm like, no, I don't. I'm not asking you to like save the situation or anything like that. Because that's just going to make me feel worse, actually. Like, for example, I had taken my daughter to violin camp. And when I showed up, and she'd been like excited for this all summer, I show up and they're like, all right, here's your viola stuff. And I was like, viola? Because she had signed, she wanted to do violin. And initially she had said she was maybe going to do viola, and there's a chance that I did sign her up for viola. I don't know, because it was at the beginning. And then she switched to violin, or maybe I signed her for violin because we realized it was the wrong name later on, but I didn't know at this time. So I was just like, oh my gosh. She just looked up at me like, what did you do to me? And I was like, yeah, it's all gonna work out. And he's like, it's fine, we'll get it all worked out. And then she just walks away, like, instead of being like, bye mom, going to camp the first day, she was like, is there even gonna be a place for me? And I walked out of there and I was just like, I just feel terrible. I feel really terrible, but like I can't just sit in this terribleness alone right now. So I called Darcy, one of my friends. I called her real quick because her daughter was in the same SAIL camp, and I was like, I just need to get this off my chest real quick. Because John, I'm sure, would have been like, oh, I don't know. Actually, John is great. He's wonderful. But like, I needed another mom that understands what it is to plan and do it, and then have it not go as planned and feel like you failed. And she was just like, I'm sure she's gonna have a great time. My daughter had a great time yesterday because Ellie couldn't go the first day, and it all worked out. But like, great example of where I just felt so much better after I got that off my chest and shared it with her, and someone else knew. I did. I felt, yeah.
Let's see.
What's next?
Oh, so you don't have to convince the world to like you. I think that's a good one.
Yes.
That not everybody's gonna like you. You're not everyone's cup of tea, and the people who do delight in your presence.
Yes.
We love that today. Are your people, and cling to those people that really like get you and you get them, and you can show up authentically as you are and not convince them that you're wonderful. They just love you already.
Yeah.
You know?
Yep. And I think what we were talking about is just like, you can invest your time in those people that really matter to you. And I think it helps not feel like you're spread out so thin too. It's hard to keep track of. Like, it's great to have many friends, but I think it's great to have some core friends too that are just,
and I think as you get older,
invest in those relationships.
Yeah, I think as you get older and you have kids, because you know you're pouring so much into your kids, you don't have as much bandwidth to have 20 friends like you maybe did in your 20s. And then you just find like your soul people that you just are like, this is my group, and that's who you really invest in. Like, I've already gotten Ashlee's Christmas present. Oh my god! It's sitting in my basement. I'm like, this is my person.
Oh
I'm thinking about her.
Crazy. I literally was looking up something today that was like a back to school something, but I have not ordered it yet. But she is the queen of gifts. It's so true. You're so good.
Oh my gosh.
So good.
That's funny. Okay.
The other thing we were going to say is just that in finding friendships, it's so many times too, when we're worried about what other people are thinking, there's a really great episode. Well, not everybody, this isn't going to be like necessarily a family friendly show, but Schitt's Creek, there's a part that's where if you know, you know, but Alexis says, nobody cares, David. Like, nobody cares.
Like, yeah, you can tell it, like, what do you mean by that? Like, we all have so much going on in our lives, you know, that a lot of times we are so hyper focused on like ourselves, like, I didn't put my makeup on before I came to Target today and I ran into that person. I'm so embarrassed, you know? And a lot of times it's like, they don't care. Like, they are so busy living their own life, and maybe they have something going on that they're not even thinking about you and your whatever's going on. They're thinking about them. And so just realizing as you get older that people don't care that much about all these little things that you might be stewing about. And so I just think caring less as you get older, and that isn't, I don't know if that's coming off correct, because I care about a lot of things. I care about my kids, and I care about so many things about my family and all these things, but like these little things that maybe were like detrimental in high school, that you were just like, oh, this is so important, and then as you get older, you're like, no, nobody cares.
Yeah, everybody's worried about their
and
own
you can
stuff.
release it. Nobody cares.
Nobody cares. Nobody cares. Just go live your life. Yeah. So, and that kind of leads into one of the other ones that I had come up with, which was just maybe one of the best things that I can offer my kids is just me authentically. Not who I want to be in 10 years, not like who I was 10 years ago, but just like who I am right now. What I enjoy right now, what I, like just being me. And a lot of times, like, I can even feel worried about, oh, but I'm not doing this like I used to, or I'm not doing this. And my kids don't even know what that, like,
Totally.
they don't even know me
That
back
version
then.
of you.
No, they
Yeah.
don't know that at all. They just know who I am right now. And so maybe my answer for some things is, I don't know what that is, but let's go discover it together. Instead of, if they ask me a question and me feeling like, oh my gosh, I should have remembered that from college, or I should have whatever, just being like, you know what, I don't know right now, let's go figure it out. And I think that response is even more helpful than if I had all the answers, to then be like, yeah, here's your answer,
Right.
you know?
And then authentically sharing your passions. Like,
Yes.
like your example of sharing piano and sewing, and for my husband, gymnastics, and just the things that we love. They see our love for those things, and even if they don't fall in love with those things too,
they don't have to.
Right. It's showing them, though, that because you love something, you can do it at any age, first of all, which is, I think, a huge lesson, and that to chase your passions and to continue doing things that like make you feel alive.
Yeah. And I think that helps them see what it looks like to have, like, it's an example of what does it look like to be passionate about something. And then I also think it helps teach them, because when I'm passionate and excited about something, I think they feel that energy and they get happy for me.
Yes.
And then they know how to joy in other people's passions.
Totally.
As well as their own passions. And I used to worry that, like, well, if I share too much of it, maybe I'm gonna, like, just create a mini me, and I don't want to be a mini, I don't want them to be a mini me, I want them to be their own person.
Yeah.
But realizing, no, they're gonna choose the things that interest them, but it's okay to have some things that we have in common too, to continue, like, just by sharing what I enjoy. And I love when John shares the things that he enjoys with the kids too, and they have expressed how much they enjoy it as well, because he enjoys it, and they see that. And kids are so responsive. I don't know about yours, I'm sure they are. I feel like mine especially too are just so responsive to, like, the things that bring me joy. They're so responsive, and they remember it. Yeah. They're like, oh yeah, let's do this for you. I know you love flowers, and so they'll pick flowers all the time. Yes. You know? Yes. So I think it's a beautiful skill that they have, and that helps them by having interests. It helps them.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Feel that.
Okay, next we had, this is kind of a little bit in line with that, but also, I don't know, just that it's our kids' turn. We had our turn to be kids. We did all the things, and now we are grown-ups, and now it's our turn to let them have those experiences. So, if they find those passions, it's to help them delve into them more. And another example is, like, we go on family bike rides, and every time we race down the street at the end, and we're like pedaling so fast, acting like we're really racing, and then we always let them win because it's their turn, and I don't need to win. Like, I won plenty of times as a kid. Now it's their turn. And I think that giving them that just makes life a little more fun and sweet. And especially even as a parent, watching them be so excited that, that they got to win the bike ride, for example. I don't know. It's just like one of those sweet parts of parenting, to give them their turn and to enjoy them having their turn.
Yes, and I love having it put that way, because life is going to happen, and they're going to have their experiences where they lose and where it doesn't work out. It's going to come, but I do think that building up that confidence and that just joy of play before that hits is so helpful.
That's true.
Because if you enjoy it still, you're probably going to keep fighting for it even when you start losing. Even
true.
If you have to go through a good phase of, like, ooh, I don't like this when I lose. Because that's going to be normal. The other thing that I had, and anybody that knows me, well, this one is just that it's okay to make changes that work best for your family. So I think separating yourself from your siblings and parents is a transition. Starting your own family, I just think there's a lot of unknowns, a lot of pressure that we maybe put on ourselves of, like, this is what my family needs to look like. This is what I need to be able to do with my family, or this is what I hope to do with my family. This is how I picture it's going to be. And then when you have your family, things might happen that changes that picture. And I think realizing that as long as you're being in touch with each other, that it's okay to adapt and change and continue to communicate what's important to you, what's important to them. You're probably both really amazing, great people, just might have different ideas that just need to come together, and maybe find compromise or whatever, but that's okay to have your family situation look different. And what I was going to say is just that I have, my friends that know me have recently went through kind of a faith transition. I'm still going through that. But
which could be a whole episode.
It really could. It probably will. And all I was going to say is just that alone has created a lot of differences in what I thought my family would look like. But as I've been moving through it, realizing that it's still so beautiful, even if it's different.
Right.
I had this picture of like what it would be, and that it couldn't be beautiful if it didn't look this way, and how wrong that was.
Totally.
Because we get to create what the beauty is, and the more I love our life, the better it is, really.
Yeah.
So just being able to adapt and change to what your family's needs are, and that it's so, I think, what's the right word I'm looking for? Just like you're so brave and strong to do what's best for your family and to be in tune with what's best for your family, because you know what's best for your kids and for your family.
Absolutely.
And no, it doesn't matter what anybody else thinks.
That's what I was just going to say.
About
I think
that.
some people hold
and
on
probably
to...
again, nobody cares.
Yeah.
David.
I think some people, David, well, and this is like, I think some people hold on to past versions of us.
Yeah.
Like, oh, Ashlee, when she was 18 or 20, this was who she was. And she's changed so much, and I'm not sure that I connect to this new person. That's just an example. And it's like, well, kind of like what we said earlier, that's okay. They don't have to. They don't have to get it. They don't have to know they weren't a part of that transition. And you do grow and you change, and that's part of life, and that's the beauty of life, is that we're not stagnant. We're not stuck being the same person that we were.
Yes. Yeah, and me letting that go is so helpful. And then realizing that other people are probably going through their own versions too, and so they don't care.
You know what? That's actually our last thing on here. Where was it? We had one on here that just goes right into it, that you're going to go through so many different versions of yourself.
Yeah.
And to honor each one and not look back and say like, oh, that version was so gross.
Cringy.
So cringy. Like, that was, as you had said, like that was you doing the best you could at that point in time. And we're all growing and changing.
And you were showing up every single day, and how awesome
that got you to where you are now.
Yes, yes. You have to start in like the trenches. You have to.
Yeah.
And you like work your way through.
And I think realizing and going through that ourselves, which everybody does, everybody grows up and goes through these things. And then when you have kids, you're like, okay, I understand. I've been through this too. And so maybe they're going through a hard phase, and like, hey, I went through a hard phase too. And we can all
be there for each other in it too.
Exactly.
Of like,
and
I offer you all this, and I offer you all the space you need. I don't care about where you are in your phase, aside from just I want to be there for you.
Yep, and I love you.
Yes.
I'm gonna love you through it.
Yes.
Yeah. If you're in your 20s and you're like, oh, this is hard. I don't know if you'll relate to some of this, or just when you get into as you grow, just like, amen. I totally understand where you're coming from, all of that. So
yes, and where you are it's going to help you get to where you want to be, and just keep trying and keep pushing through. And
you don't need to do motherhood alone. Come join our village.
exactly as you are.